Dodge Challenger and Charger, dead. Chrysler 300, dead. Plymouth Barracuda, dead. Pontiac, dead. All of these muscle cars died and were discontinued. But one name, one car, still stands strong. How did the Mustang manage to not just compete but dominate? In order to understand this, let's first talk about some history. Simply put, the timing was just right for the Mustang. Ford saw an increase in the demand for muscle cars and strong V8s, so they adopted in the early 1960s. And Lee Iacocca, the vice president and general manager of the Ford division, spearheaded the project. And the first prototype, the Mustang 1, was a mid-engine roadster that debuted in 1962, was released. It generated a lot of excitement, don't get me wrong, but it was only until the Mustang 2 that people truly saw its potential. And then it was officially introduced to the public at the New York World's Fair on April 17th of 1964. It was an instant hit. It had a long hood, it had a big engine, it handled pretty well. Oh, and the price? $2,368. That would be the equivalent of $24,000 today, which is quite a bargain. All of these factors combined to make the Mustang a massive success, selling over 400,000 units in its first year. The Mustang in of itself created a new class of cars known as the pony cars, and then other competitors like the Chevy Camaro and the Pontiac Firebird soon followed. Something crazy happened though. In 1965, when Ford teamed up with Carroll Shelby to create high-performance versions of the Mustang. Carroll Shelby was a legendary racer with a record line that just proves itself. So he built the Shelby GT350 and the GT500. One thing I liked about Ford is how they kept adapting the Mustang to market need. See, in the 1970s, a deadly oil crisis hit and gas prices were at an all-time high. So what they did was that they came out with a smaller Mustang which had a smaller engine and had a smaller body. It wasn't long though until they finally returned to form with the legendary Fox body era from 79 until 93. This was also the generation where they would return the legendary 5.0 liter V8. Then the fourth generation came from 94 until 2004, and honestly, there isn't really much to talk about here. Other than the fact that this car probably got the most movie presence, as at the time the movie industry was booming. Until finally, the final sixth generation of Mustang from 2015 until present, which in my opinion is the most impactful generation of Mustang. See, all other cars were discontinued. And they didn't just discontinue them for no reason. A couple of the reasons they were discontinuing for was the fact that the demand itself for muscle cars was decreasing. Right now, the dominant car archetype is SUVs and efficient crossovers. The demand for muscle cars is simply too low and won't make the companies much of a profit. Not only that, but also the demand is going more towards EVs. So all of these companies are trying to ditch all of their gas-powered vehicles and go fully in on EVs. However, I don't think that will be so successful as we saw the disaster with the new Charger EV Daytona. See, but one car out of all of them. Not two, not three, no, just one car from one company dominates and keeps dominating and to this day sells extremely well, and that is the Ford Mustang. Now you might be asking why, and the reason is very simple. And the reason is that it's very successful. I mean, even from the beginning, from its roots, it was the right car at the right time. It was a car that no matter what, people kept buying because at its heart, the Ford Mustang is a great car. Hey, you want a V4 EcoBoost? Go ahead. You want a V6? Go ahead. You want a V8? Go ahead. The Ford Mustang was designed to be your car. And this is a legacy that Ford refuses to let go of. So much so in fact that they came out with a crazy Mustang called the Mustang GTD. A car pushing over 800 horsepower, being the first American-made production car to do under 7 minutes on the Nürburgring. Now sure, it didn't beat no Porsche GT3 RS, but this is an American muscle car we're talking about here. Ford refuses to give up. They refuse to give in into all of these market demands and all of these slimy shareholders. They're holding on to what their company does best. Their most successful models are the Ford F-150 and the Ford Mustang, and those two cars have something in common: legacy and purpose. There are actually a lot of parallels between the Ford F-150 and the Ford Mustang you might not even notice. They're both cars with tons and tons of legacy, and they're also two of Ford's most successful cars. And just like the Ford F-150 is the best-selling pickup truck, the Mustang is the best-selling muscle car, and it's simply a car that refuses to die. Today, the Ford Mustang is the fastest muscle car out of the bunch. For its price, however, you could find a brand new Mustang GT for $42,000 to $50,000. However, if you just wait a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 years, you can easily get one for $25,000 or even less. It's a muscle car that refuses to die, and Ford will not give up on this car. This is why I think that the Mustang is the king of the muscle cars. But what do you guys think? Is the Mustang truly the ultimate muscle car? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, give me some feedback down in the comments below. Elixir out.